Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. Right, so we know that there's been a lot of anti-disability going on social media, it's going on in the press, it's going on everywhere. Even in the government itself, there's lots of anti-disability talk going on, and it's never a nice thing to listen to. You see it on social media. You see people who are trying to help others getting called, scroungers and things like this, or being told that they're helping people to get PIP when that clearly isn't the case. And unfortunately, MP Helen Watley has barreled into the whole thing by suggesting that the particular disability group in particular, and disability groups in general, or at least people who talk about disability on social media or on YouTube, TikTok, calling them sickfluences and saying that they're basically just trying to help people get PIP. She wanted to make it a criminal offence to do this type of thing, which I think is going a little bit far. But I think it's just beggars belief, to be fair, that this is going to be happening, because you see someone like Helen Watley going out there and saying these things without really knowing what the connotations are going to be for that. This is going to be fueling those people who are against the disabled, or for whatever reason that might be. I don't know why someone would want to be like that, but it just fuels that, and it just makes life a lot harder for people who are disabled. And when you look at the situation where you've got people who are struggling with their benefits, struggling with the PIP process, with migration, all these different things that are going on at the moment, and then they're getting this on top of it. They can't even go onto social media without being called out and being told that they're scroungers or skiving or work shy. Well, the whole gambit of things that you get when you're called these things. And it really is very difficult to deal with, and I think that Helen Watley should have known better. I think she should have been more professional than that. She did say she did want to try and ban sickfluences, but it wasn't supported by the government, which for one thing, I'm grateful for the government, because not much I'm grateful for, but I'm grateful that they didn't do that. But we all know that there are certain people out there who may charge money to help people with their PIP process in various different ways. Obviously, you know who these people are. And their methods might be something which helps people get PIP. I've never been through this process with any of them, so I don't know myself, but I know there are people who charge money to help people with their PIP forms, or the universal credit, or what it might be. And the way they do that is, most of the time, it's just to help people. I know there are those out there who may be using it for nefarious reasons, but I think that most people, like myself, and also like a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people on social media, they just want to help the disabled. They just want to help people, and it might be, it's just like the Citizens Advice Bureau. People go to them, they offer a service, they help people with their PIP forms, and there are people out there who do the same thing. They're not doing it for nefarious purposes. They're not telling people how to cheat the system. They're not going after them and saying, right, if you put this, this and this, you're definitely going to get PIP. They're not doing that. They're just helping people navigate, what is a very difficult process, and a very long-winded process and humiliating process. And I think that, if you are a disabled person, you've been through that yourselves, you are then much better able to help somebody else, because you've been through that process. You know what's coming up ahead. You know what the pitfalls could be. Now, that doesn't mean that they're helping them get PIP. It just means that they're trying to help those who may struggle trying to do the form. And I think that that's not necessarily anything bad with that, not anything wrong with that. You can argue whatever you will about whether people should pay for that service, whether they should be charging people for that. I mean, that can be a debate for another time. But I just think that you've got to be realistic. There are lots of disabled people out there who just want to help, and I think Helen Watley has completely grasped the wrong end of the stick here, because she thinks that everyone who talks about disability on social media and on things like this are all sycophants, I can't even say the word, and all trying to get people PIP who don't deserve it. And that isn't the case. That is absolutely not the case. But anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section about this. Do you think that Helen Watley is right? Do you think there are too many influencers out there who are perhaps nefariously helping people get PIP? Or do you think that actually she is just lumping everybody in with maybe one or two people who might be trying to do that, but now she's just targeting everybody who's trying to help the disabled? I'd love to hear what you think. Please do let me know down in the comment section what you think. Please do subscribe if you've got this far. I'd love to help push this channel even further, and I'll see you next time.